Geoffrey? You look wonderful.
So do you. Et l'homme qui aime sa chèvre, c'est moi, et je l'adore. Elle s'appelle Esmeralda. Esmeralda, mon amour. That is a laparoscopic cholecystectomy, a very routine operation, but you'll all have noticed it's not quite complete. Can anyone tell me why? Because I need the poor lady back next month to boost the intake figures. We must all strive to keep the surgical director happy.
Look, if you want me to back off, just say so. If I'm only fit for a one-night stand, just say it, Robert.
Penny, it isn't like that.
Screw you, Nevin.
Professor Hoyt? I wonder if I could pin you down for 5 minutes sometime.
On a personal matter?
Yeah. I'm having a lousy time applying for a consultancy. I could do with a bit of advice.
You conduct your sex life in the corridors and your career in private. My advice would be to study that equation. Screw you, Nevin. How's the pheasant?
It's very nice. Did you shoot it yourself?
No, but I thawed it myself. I wish I could do the same for you. What is it, Helen?
Ruth came to see me today. She asked me to try and patch up the quarrel between you and Clive Cotterell.
Ah.
Can you imagine why she asked me?
Perhaps she thinks you have an influence over me.
Why? Have you said anything to her about us?
Well, I might have intimated.
Intimated what?
It's very hard to say, my dear. I'm in love with you. It's not an easy thing to disguise.
You had no right.
I'm sorry. I really am.
Well, I suppose Ruth will be discreet.
Just the same, there's no excuse. I'm glad to keep it from other people for as long as you wish. Being able to admit to each other what we feel is the important thing, isn't it?
It's just that all this seems to be going too fast.
Does that matter?
Yes, I think it does. Elizabeth's been dead, how long? A year? It's understandable you should want to replace her.
Replace her? Is that honestly what you think I'm doing? Have you got so little regard for yourself about what you might mean to me?
Geoffrey, I'm sorry. I don't mean to hurt your feelings.
No need to be sorry, Helen. It'd be very foolish to allow yourself to be ensnared by a sad old man who makes a snatch for the first woman that comes his way.
That's not how I see you. No, it's not.
I don't know anything, Helen.
If you're not going to talk about this properly, if you're just going to wallow in self-pity, I may as well go home.
You must do as you see fit. There's no such thing as a free lunch. Why am I here?
I respect you, Geoffrey.
You've respected me for years, but you've never bought me a meal.
I need your support.
Pass the pepper. Thank you.
Ruth Parris offered me surgical director.
Does Clive know that?
But they want him out fairly swiftly. Come on, Geoffrey, he's yesterday's man.
You're tomorrow's.
Ruth Parry made it clear I've got control of the budget. Without approval, I can steer money where it's needed.
From where it's not, but at what price, Richard? Mrs. Parry's performance-related pay.
Look, if I didn't do it, someone else would have to.
No, they wouldn't. If we all refused their 30 pieces of silver, they couldn't.
Forgive me, but that's not realistic these days.
But it should be, man. Don't you see?
Making doctors reach targets is a bit like making drivers more reckless.
Geoffrey, I think you should know. I have the support of the others. You're the last. Think about it.
No. I won't. I don't trust you, Richard. And suddenly I've lost my appetite for your food and your company.
I have very clear memories of why I chose to do medicine. It was transparent to everyone else that I'd have made a better lawyer than a doctor, but I truly believed in the National Health Service. The greatest good for the greatest number. Nye Bevan and the big parade. And after 40 years, I watched these individuals come in and turn it into a lottery. The greatest good for the smallest number. Cynical business school medicine. Tampering with my religion. Till I begin to wonder what happened to the big parade. So you see, I understand loss. And it makes me feel cynical.
Can I help you?
Sorry, I was just earwigging.
Well, we all know what happened to earwiggers, don't we, eh?
Actually, it wasn't me that I wanted to hear about.
Geoffrey Hoyt.
William Jarndyce. Janice Thornton. A truly exceptional nurse.
Yeah. I'm just a HCA, a healthcare assistant. I'm not a real nurse.
Oh, don't denigrate your title, Janice. There are plenty of people who do that for you.
Sorry.
Would you like to be a real nurse?
She already is, Professor.
I was thinking of doing one of those MVQs. National Vocational Qualifications.
Oh, yes. They're very arduous, but well worthwhile. Yes. Well, we've managed to find you a place at North Ridge, Mr. Jarndyce, and as soon as they ring to confirm, you'll be on your way.
I don't want an operation. I'm sorry, Professor. I know you've gone to a great deal of effort on my behalf.
Mr. Jarndyce, without an operation, your heart will give out.
Strange thing, the heart. You know, my wife used to go on sometimes about getting old. And I used to tell her, you don't look a day over 20.
I'll bet she liked that.
Love like that doesn't come easily, Professor. Why should I look forward?
Because it can happen again.
Only to the lucky ones.
Geoffrey, what a surprise.
Not too much of one, I hope. How did the symposium go?
Fine.
I would have thought you'd be elated, or at least relieved it was over.
So did I.
You need a holiday. Do you have your diary in there?
I'm sorry. Could we do it tomorrow? I'm feeling really tired.
Yes, all right.
I'm sorry.
Don't leave it too long.
No. Thanks.
Where are we going?
I don't know.
I thought you wanted to talk.
When I was a little boy, Helen, my mother used to ask me how much I loved her. How many bags of sugar? I learned to count bags of sugar, yes. Then as she was starting her last illness, she asked me again. There was a factory near my old school, and I said to her, I love you more than all the sugar bags in Tate and Lyle, and that's what I want to say to you, Helen. The end of wisdom is ignorance, Helen, and all I can say in my ignorance is that I love you. I love you so much that my knees are shaking and I'm talking nonsense. Can you believe me?
Can we go and talk about this somewhere warmer? I don't think I can offer you the same kind of commitment. I'm just not ready for something so frightening. I'm sorry, Geoffrey.
Don't be, I understand. You know, I know there must be something in your past. I don't want to trespass. I'm not asking for anything except the chance to love you.
New beginnings.
Hoyt! Just who the bloody hell do you think you are?
Not here, Clive.
Oh, why not? Because all your backstabbing only works in private.
No, because it's a hospital. Hello. Two, please.
Oh, don't try and tell me you had no hand in my dismissal.
I have many faults, Clive, but I'm not a liar.
You've crawled all over this building to engineer it!
I've made my objections to the post perfectly clear.
You've ruined my reputation, and you don't really care, do you?
You're not doing yourself any favours.
Oh, why should I worry about the damage I do myself when you're around, huh?
There was a time you were too shy to be seen with me in the morning, and I do believe you're still all of a quiver.
Don't flatter yourself. It's nerves about the symposium.
All you need to be afraid of is being killed in the rush of young registrars clamouring to work with you.
They won't be young. Most of them are older than me and much more experienced.
Now you're making me nervous.
I assume you just heard all that?
I have a right to know, don't I? She is my wife.
Mr. Kerrick, I have just used considerable tact trying to calm your dear wife down. I really would hate for you to undo all my good work. Why don't you tell me about it?
Well, it's just a straightforward road accident. A stupid cyclist pulled up in front of me. I went up on the pavement. It hit something, a lamppost.
Was the cyclist hit too?
No, no, he wasn't.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Why don't you go in?
Your daughter's cutting it a bit fine, isn't she?
Well, at least she's only coming from Paris this time, not New Zealand.
I wonder what she'll make of me.
I'd want her to expect a wicked stepmother.
Oh, Geoffrey. It's a shame your brother can't come.
Well, you wouldn't say that if you'd met him. Besides, it gives me an opportunity to have a much more remarkable chap as the best man.
Wish you'd tell me who it was.
What, and spoil the surprise?
Thank you.
Mr. Vance. Mr. Vance, I'd like to talk to you about my patients, or rather the lack of them.
With you in a sec, Professor. Just readjusting the computerized control panel.
I'm not interested in your machinery. I'd like to know how you've managed to override the hierarchy of this hospital and taken it upon yourself to work through my lists. Mr. Vance?
Look, I'm sorry. Are you saying something?
You have left me only one hernia and 2 cholecystectomies now. Is that your list?
Well, yes.
Right. I'd better take it then, hadn't I? Thank you.
Hang on.
Thank you. Had enough already, Mr. Vance?
Oh, I've just finished texting. See you later.
I didn't expect to see you until bedtime. What's happened to all your patients?
Mr. Vance has dispensed with them in my absence.
Well, if the local undertaker's standard of living goes up, we'll know who's behind it.
He may be a rather poor specimen of humanity, but he's an excellent surgeon. I can't keep up with him.
Rubbish.
You should see the computerized equipment he's installed. There was no such thing as a laparoscopy when I was training.
Yes, it must have been much easier when all you needed was a hacksaw and a couple of leeches. Come on, Geoffrey. Why not try this new gizmo yourself?
But I can't even program the video.
Just watch what he does. You'll be better than him in a week.
Hey, there it is. Right next to the small intestine. Okay, I'm going to diathermy the bleeding point. I can't see... For goodness sake, hold that thing in the right position. I can't see, the suction's not working.
Blood pressure's dropping.
Yeah.
How much bleeding have we got down there?
I don't know, I can't see properly. Move the forceps to the right. Christ, the vena cava's torn. What the hell are you doing?
I can't maintain blood pressure.
Keep that thing still. Keep it still.
We're going to have to open her up. Get that rubbish out of here.
No, leave it.
Get it out of here, now. Yes, we're going to operate in the classical manner. Kindly make the first incision, Mr. Vance. Even the best machinery can fail. Take a deep breath. Yes, I think in the circumstances an exploratory operation is an excellent idea.
If it's the only way of finding out specifically what's wrong.
Of course. That's exactly why these two were so keen to call me in. Yes. I'll be using a laparoscope. It's very non-invasive. And you're particularly lucky as we've just had a new monitor installed. The views will be alpine in clarity.
Shame I'll miss it.
Oh, I could make a video if you want. And we could watch it together when you're better.
Okay, but you'll have to speak to my agent.
I'll see you later. What's the matter with you two? Where's the music? I do wish the people who designed these things would remember we're not all Japanese midgets. What's that?
Sorry. I think you might find if you turned it anti-clockwise.
Thank you, Mr. Vance. I was about to do that. As you appear to be on such good form, perhaps you'll tell me what you make of that.
Wow, fantastic. That's TB of the abdomen, isn't it? You must have seen a lot of that in the olden days. Shall I take the biopsy for you?
You look tired, my love.
Do I?
Yes.
I think the Rachel Bevan inquiry's finally caught up with me.
Yes, I'm glad it was you and not me.
Well, it was worse for the doctors involved.
Yes, doctors are just human and humans make mistakes in there, but for the grace of God go any of us.
Geoffrey, what's wrong?
You know, there was a moment in the theatre this morning when I seriously began to doubt I'm up to it.
Someone said something.
I've always thought of surgery as being a combination of art and science. But these days, I'm afraid the science is taking over. I'm beginning to feel like a dinosaur.
It's Peter Vance, isn't it? That's outrageous. You've got years ahead of you yet.
Perhaps there comes a time in all our lives when we have to give way to the nakedly ambitious. Look at Ruth.
Ruth hasn't made way for anybody. She's just ill.
I do wish she was coming to our wedding.
Yes, so do I. I don't know what else we can do to try and persuade her. It'll still be a wonderful day.
It'll be a wonderful night.
You jolly well better be up to it.
Don't you worry. I will be. Good night, Helen.
Oh, by the way, this stag night, how many people have you invited?
Oh, it'll be a small but very convivial gathering. See you at the church on time.
returns at the same time next Friday.